Welcome Sagittarius, if you've got prominent Sagittarius placements. If you're not sure, then I'll leave a link below so you can get your free astrology report. And yet before even sitting down for this reading, I was getting a message about eagle or even condor. And so this could be a time where you're flying above your problems, rising above your problems. Definitely feeling a message about some spiritual protection. This is either you, well, I'm getting that this is you being able to see a situation, but putting it into words is difficult. So this could be a time where it's difficult to express to someone what's going on, or maybe it's about boundaries. But this could also be you having spiritual experiences, spiritual up-leveling. You could also have been through a rough time, and this is you moving out of that, rising above it, or some sort of spiritual awakening. But we're going to have a look and see what messages come through. I get guided, I get physically moved, given messages, which I'll pass on to you. And straight away, so rather than looking at current energy, there's something in the past that's important to look at. So I'm being given a few cards here, 3 cards here about the past. Okay. And here, wow, loads of wands energy. And so this also felt like you moving into some sort of leadership was what I was getting through. Some guide, maybe helping the earth. But here we've got the King of Wands really linked to leadership. And so either you've been in a position of power, of leadership, and it's been rough, or you're moving into a position of power and you're getting there from having navigated through the rough times, the difficult times. The 7 of Wands and the 10 of Wands as well. So this, I mentioned boundaries. So maybe there's been people encroaching on your boundaries, asking too much and draining your energy. Could also be spiritual warfare. This is you having a need to protect your space, to pull your energy back, and to look after yourself. Also to stand your ground, have those strong boundaries. And here with the 10 of Wands, it really feels like this is you taking on a lot of responsibility, maybe overworking, taking on too much of other people's stuff, and maybe being in a relationship which hasn't been in balance. Maybe you've been giving too much of yourself. But this is also a good sign of completion with the 10 here. This is you moving out of those old cycles. This is you with all of those lessons that you've learned from this previous cycle. That's what you're bringing back, and you're putting down the heavy load, the load that you don't need to carry. This could be about you asking for help. This could be about you having those boundaries and saying that it's not right. And flying out of the pack is the 2 of Cups. And so this really is about relationships. And something that you can't see. So this is maybe a necessary ending of a relationship that was out of harmony. But there's also relationships that you can't see that are coming forward. So this could be you meeting a significant other in the future. Could be you meeting your soul family. But this is something that you're unable to see at the moment. So it feels like incoming energy are those relationships that are in alignment, and releasing any relationships that have been out of alignment or out of harmony. Okay. And I'm being shown the heart when I'm being shown relationships. So it really does feel like a difficult ending. It could be heartbreak. You having to say goodbye to someone. And so this is you moving forward, having to say goodbye to someone. And you won't be able to hear it, but I'm getting, there's a rattling, those wings are rattling and they've never done it before. So your guide's wanting you to know that they're there and saying, trust the path ahead, that it's leading to those relationships that are in harmony, are in balance, and you being in alignment and finding that navigation easier. Okay, so there's something that they also want you to listen to right now. Okay. Again, something that you can't see at the moment. And so here, the Nine of Swords and the King of Cups. This is you moving out of any stress, any fears, anything that's been preventing you from moving forward. And this is you moving into harmony, into balance. And this really being shown here with the King of Cups. And your guides wanting you to trust that this is you coming back into harmony. Necessary endings, and over time you'll heal. And whether you're going through sleepless nights now, stress, worries, anxieties, come back to your heart, come back to that guidance, that protection around you, and know that you're moving forward to aligned relationships and being in alignment and in harmony. So there's some current energy where you're feeling restricted. I'm just going to get some. Okay, so 3 cards here about current energy, and in particular a message about feeling restricted, feeling stuck. And so we have the Emperor, we have the Empress, and we have the Page of Wands. And so here with the Emperor, this could be a structure or someone in your life that is making you feel restricted and stuck. It could be home life, it could be at your work. There's something that you want to create which you're not able to create yet. You've got some ideas, some passions that you want to follow, and someone somewhere is putting some restrictions on it, or you're moving out of a time of restriction. I'm also being given a message about this, about listening to your body. And so maybe this has been a lot of time where you've been up in your head and maybe thinking things through logically. But the real guidance here right now is to start listening to your body. Also grounding in nature and taking that time out, being in nature and releasing yourself from any ties. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, there's a restriction here. And I'm being pointed back to the Two of Cups. And so there's a deep tie here to someone in the past. Family, friends, could be from work. And you're feeling that tie like you can't move away from them at the moment. This is about cutting and releasing the cord, releasing any of that heavy energy so that you can move forward and not get pulled and sucked back into those karmic relationships. I'm being given some tools in your pocket. So this is some advice from your guides, stuff that you've got at your disposal and some tools in your pocket. And so here, the Nine of Wands, the Empress again for the second time, and the Three of Pentacles. And so this is really showing that ending, the Nine of Wands. And this is the wounded warrior. So this is you coming out of that situation, and you've been through it. But this is you now having those boundaries and having that wisdom that you've gathered along the way, and moving into a space where you are able to create, and able to create from your heart, and meeting others, that those soul aligned partnerships that are going to help you build this future. These are tools in your pocket. And so the advice from spirit is to take that wisdom, to take that pain from the past and use it as fuel to create what you want to create. Again, another advice of really listening to the body and connecting with nature, and build that future whilst asking others for assistance, asking others for help, and finding those partnerships, especially in this can be in work, but also in relationships. But feels like there's projects here where you're going to be maybe at networking events, maybe meeting people who have similar ideas and thoughts to you, so you can really birth that new thing that the ideas that you've been waiting to create. Okay, so I'm being given a message from your guides about trusting the path forward, trusting your intuition as you move forward. And this is what you're following that road to. This is the future. And so we've got that Ace of Wands. We've got you following that spark, that idea, following what you want to create. And the Page of Pentacles. So you've got that seed that you want to grow, and this is about you moving forward with those intentions so that you can grow it. And here, the Ten of Swords, and so a real ending of the past. This is you releasing those swords from your back. And if you look at his hand down here, it's in a gesture. It's a mudra where he's showing that this was a necessary ending, that there's peace from this ending. You've progressed from moving past the Nine of Wands to the 10, that completion, but there's peace there. And in the distance, on the horizon, there's the sun rising. That's your joy. That's what you're creating. And that's what you're moving forward to with this completion and planting those seeds of the future. There's so much Wands energy here. And yeah, Sagittarius, you're a fire sign, so it makes sense that there's so much Wands energy, in particular Sagittarius energy. But this is you tapping into your desires, tapping into that light within, that excitement, and moving forward and letting that shine the path forward, and getting confirmation there as well. And trust that you're going to be able to build and create the intentions that you have in your mind. Keep those intentions, dream big, and move step by step forward towards them. Okay, so there's something that you need to communicate, is another message coming through. So 2 cards here, something that you need to communicate. And so here, the Queen of Swords, all about communication, and the 4 of Swords as well. And so this is about you not taking any shit. And so in the past, if there were people who pushed your limits, pushed your boundaries, this is you saying how it is and being able to communicate with others what's right for you, how you see things, and how you want to move forward. And with the 4 of Swords here, this can be spiritual downloads. This can be you taking that time out to meditate. So not just going with how you would have done things before and thinking things through logically. This is you taking time out, meditating. And for your understanding and clarity. There's one sword here that he's holding, ready to move forward, like that Ace of Swords, ready to move forward with that sword, with that clarity. But after receiving that peace from meditation, this could be also you, but there's stained glass in the background that shows the presence of your spirit guides, and they're coming through loud and clear today. And so this is you starting to communicate with your guides and getting that deep guidance, opening up that conversation with the universe, with your guides, and that helping you navigate the path forward. Know that you're not alone, that your ancestors, your guardian angels, your spirit guides, they are on this path with you, and they're here to help you with any questions that you have. And they're holding you is another message coming through. Okay, and lastly, this is at the end of the road. This is what you're reaching at the end of the road. And here we have the Four of Cups and the Page of Wands. And so this, again, the second time, there's so many doubled cards here, the Empress and the Page of Wands. And so this is you really having those messages and noticing the messages that and the opportunities that are being guided and offered to you from the universe. Okay, something from the past. Okay, so this is you moving out of past energies where life might have been boring, might have not been exciting, and you might have missed some opportunities. This is you moving out of that and into the harmony of the King of Cups. Okay, that's all of the messages today. Thank you so much for joining me. And please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Sending love. Bye bye.